Okay, if you're a course creator, you know this feeling. You pour your heart and soul into an amazing course, only to watch your platform take a huge bite out of your profits. Every single month. Well, today we're going to look at something that could be a total game changer, the Learniverse lifetime deal on AppSumo. So the big question is, can a single one-time payment really free you from that endless cycle of subscription fees? Let's dig in and find out.
I mean, this is the central question for so many of us, isn't it? You work so hard creating valuable content, and then you just have to watch a huge piece of your revenue just vanish before it even hits your bank account. It feels like this constant battle between trying to grow and just trying to manage your costs.
And this quote from our source material, it just hits the nail on the head. This idea of a painful trade-off, that's exactly it. You're stuck choosing between having the powerful features you need and actually being able to afford them long-term. It's a really tough spot to be in, and that is precisely the problem that Learniverse is trying to solve.
All right, so here's our roadmap for this breakdown. First, we'll really get into the weeds on this costly problem for creators. Then, we'll introduce the lifetime deal as a potential solution. After that, we're putting Learniverse to the test, a real hands-on look. Then comes the fun part, the numbers. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a clear verdict on who this deal is actually for.
And look, this problem is so much bigger than just a monthly bill you have to pay. We're talking about reoccurring SaaS fees that can absolutely crush your profit margins, making it incredibly difficult to scale. You know, every time you get a new student or have a brilliant idea for a new course, there's this little voice in the back of your head wondering if it's going to push you into the next, more expensive subscription tier. It's like it puts a ceiling on your success.
And this is where Learniverse steps into the picture. It's an e-learning platform that showed up on AppSumo with a totally different model. Pay once, and you get lifetime access. The promise is pretty straightforward. Get the tools you need to grow your business, but without those recurring costs that are always holding you back.
So my first impression, honestly, right out of the box, Learniverse just feels clean and modern. It's a huge breath of fresh air compared to some of the older platforms that can feel really cluttered and kind of clunky. The focus is clearly on making things simple and fast, not just for you as the creator, but for your students too. And that focus on simplicity, it pays off big time, and right away. The source reported that a full initial setup, I'm talking your branding, connecting Stripe or PayPal, getting your first course shell ready to go, all of that can be done in less than 30 minutes. That is crazy fast, and it tells you there's almost no learning curve.
Okay. A pretty interface is nice, but does the thing actually work the way you need it to? So now we're going to shift gears from just first impressions to a real hands-on analysis of the core features to see if this platform really delivers on what it promises.
And this is where you really see the value proposition. The platform just goes right after the biggest pain points for us creators. Unlimited students and unlimited courses, that means you can scale without being scared. Zero platform transaction fees, you actually get to keep the money you earn. And all the essential tools like content drip, affiliates, and coupon codes are already built right in.
Now, to make sure these features aren't just for show, our source ran a really specific test. They built a simple 3-module course. Then they took the most valuable part, Module 3, and set it to drip. What that means is it would only unlock for a new student a full 7 days after they signed up. This is a super important feature for protecting your premium content.
And the result? It worked. Perfectly. The test confirmed that content was totally locked down. The student couldn't get to it, they couldn't find a workaround, and they saw a clear timer counting down to when it would be available. This is huge because it proves Learniverse has solid content control, so you can be confident your delivery schedules will work as planned.
All right, now for the part that really hits home, the money. How does this one-time deal actually stack up against a big player like Thinkific, which is on that traditional monthly subscription model? Let's crunch the numbers.
This is really the million-dollar question, right? Or at least the $1,000 question. For just a minute, let's forget about the features. Let's talk about the cold, hard cash. What is the actual value of making a switch like this? And wow, the numbers really do tell the whole story here. The Learniverse lifetime deal is a single payment of $69. One and done. Now, to get a similar set of features on a platform like Thinkific, you're looking at their start plan, which costs almost $1,200 every single year. Let's just let that number sink in for a second. $1,119. That's how much you save in the very first year alone, compared to a plan like Thinkific's. That's money that can go straight back into your business, for marketing, for better content, or, just into your pocket.
But the real magic trick happens in year 2 and year 3 and every single year after that. With the Learniverse deal, your platform cost literally drops to 0. Meanwhile, those subscription fees on the other platforms, they just keep coming. Forever. The long-term financial impact is, well, it's just massive.
So, we've tested the features, we've laid out the economics, now it's time for the final verdict. We've seen all the good stuff, but what are the trade-offs? And really, the most important question, is this deal the right move for you?
Look, no platform is ever perfect, so it's important to be realistic. The pros here are incredibly strong. The value is just unbeatable, the builder is easy to use, and you get unlimited growth potential. But the cons are real too. The site customization is a bit basic, there aren't a ton of third-party integrations right now, and the built-in quiz maker isn't as powerful as some of the competitors.
And all of that leads us to a super clear picture of who the ideal user is. If your #1 priority is to maximize your profit by killing those recurring platform fees, and you're a solopreneur, a small creator, an educator, then you are the exact person this deal was designed for.
You know, I love how the source puts this. They call it the 85% solution. And the idea is that, for most creators, Learniverse gives you about 85% of the core features you absolutely need to run a successful business. So what you're doing is trading that last 15% of fancied, nice-to-have features for 100% freedom from ever paying a monthly fee again.
So what's the bottom line here? After looking at the user experience, the core features, and the just incredible economics of it all, the final verdict from the source is crystal clear. For its target audience, solopreneurs and creators who are just sick of paying their platform's bills, Learniverse is an undeniable must-buy.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on. In the world of online business, we're always told to invest in expensive tools. But this deal, it completely flips that script. It makes you ask, could eliminating a huge recurring cost actually be the single smartest financial investment you can make for the long-term health and profitability of your business? It's definitely something to think about.